If I have a typical pattern of behavior, and I do, it is to make things far more complicated than they need to be. And I think that's what I have been doing, and I think I've been able to actually dig myself out of this hole. I'm excited about what I've learned. I can't wait to share it with you, and it is related to my upcoming market. If you're not super techie and you don't want to be, I think this will be helpful. And if you are a techie type person and you enjoy that, I think this is also great for you, because why make things harder than it needs to be? Today we're talking about SKUs, SKU numbers, and POSs, which is a point of sale. I wasn't sure how I was going to approach this. I know that in today's day and age, most people want to be able to use a credit or debit card when they're shopping. I know some other options are like Venmo, PayPal, which it turns out, I don't think a lot of people I don't know if people are using that anymore. The group I kind of polled, Venmo was probably the number one on there. That being said, I still knew I had to do something digital. And then there's the matter of tracking my inventory. And I don't want to guess at what's sold. I want to know what sells and what doesn't sell, because this is my very first market. And this is going to be a little bit of an experiment to see if people in my area will buy the stuff I'm making, or if I have, traveled down a completely untraveled path that no one wants to go on. Anyway, let's hope that's not the case. I've been searching the internet, trying to decide what to do. I've been asking AI what to do. I actually found a channel on YouTube. I will link the video that I'm referencing specifically down below, but in general, I have just enjoyed this person's content. I believe the channel is called Noelle Creates, and she isn't a market person. She runs a small business, I think from her home, but she seems to know a lot about this topic. So I watched a video of hers and it was all about using Square. And I was kind of leaning that way anyway, because I saw that they have a lot of different options based on if you are just a sole proprietor, pop-up shop, versus a store with multiple locations or restaurant with multiple locations. There's a variety of their point of service or point of sale equipment that varies based on your needs, and the pricing also varies quite a bit based on your needs as well. There are always going to be credit card processing fees. That is how those businesses make money. I have been running a business with my husband for almost 16 years, I think, 17 years. And, we do have to accept credit cards there. So I am definitely familiar with the amount of fees that you get charged and, unfortunately, how much that does cost. And we can go over the pricing and the ways to deal with those fees and stuff like that a little bit more in another video if you're up for that. But today let's just stick with the basic type of stuff. While watching this video from Noelle, I saw that you could actually, with Square, with the free plan, which is what I am doing, and I am doing the free MagnaSwipe little device, so that is also free. If you want to order more than one, then I think it's $10 a piece, but I'm getting the device for free and it is being shipped to me for free. So I think that is a plus. That's definitely, ways to save. It's not costing me every month because, again, I'm going with that free plan and I don't need all the extra upgrades that come with the other plans, at least not at this point. I mean, if this were to, blossom into something much larger, we can reevaluate down the line. But right now, I won't be getting charged until that first credit card gets swiped through there. So I think that is a huge plus. But I got distracted there. Let me tell you what sealed this decision for me. So Noelle had done a video, it'll be linked below, and it was about Square. And it was actually about managing inventory, which was totally stressing me out. And I thought, am I going to have to create a Google sheet? And I'm not super proficient in that. So I'm, it's one more thing to have to learn. And, that kind of added a little bit of stress in there. And I was really thinking, I'll also, my daughter, should I get sidetracked again? my daughter saw the video where I said I was really excited that my niece was going to be helping out, and my daughter was like, "You didn't ask me. Did you think I wouldn't do it?" And I was like, "No, I just assumed you were." I just knew she was having like a couple stressful weeks at work, and so I thought I'd just wait till afterwards to, you know, let her know she was volunteering to work my booth with me. But she saw the video first, so she was more than happy to work the booth with me as well. So with these two other people working my booth, I'm like, how are they totally, like, neither one of them crochet. How are they going to be able to ring things up in a manner in which will help track everything so I know what's gone? And how do I keep it simple? Like, I was like, am I going to have to get like a receipt book and write everything down? Like, how is this going to work? Do I have to keep a notebook or a Google sheet of all my inventory and like cross it off? But it turns out that in Square, you can actually upload pictures of things. You can put a SKU number on everything. I don't remember what SKU stands for. Something, something, something. It's a number. It's how you track things. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I've gotten done so far with mine. But this way, if I am speaking to a customer and my daughter is ringing somebody out for me, she can see the little tag that I have numbered, which I'm now thinking I definitely need to show you. Hold on. All right, I had to get my supplies and get my glasses here. So I am going to have tags on things. There may be a few things where I won't have a full tag on it, but I'll have just a very small tag with the SKU number on it. If it's like, what do I want to say? I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe like the scrunchies or something. But for the most part, all of my items are going to have a tag. And I'm keeping this simple as well. So I am going to attach these to the item right here. I see these a lot in thrift stores, and to be honest, it was incredibly cheap. I don't even know how much it was. I think it was only a couple dollars, and I think I got a couple hundred. I am planning on putting together a little resource guide when everything is kind of said and done, and but I want to like wait and see if the stuff works the way I think it's going to, because I don't want to like tell you to get something and then have it not work out on market day. But I'm going to put these tags on the items. Now I will also have washing instruction tags that I've created, and which obviously won't go on everything. But the crochet pieces for sure. And then I also have like a little tag with my brand name on them. And we can talk about that stuff in a video about branding, because that's like some of my favorite stuff to talk about. And it's, I don't know, it's just fun for me. But stay on task. Like, numbers aren't always fun. And so easily distracted, but I am geared up for this. So, you know, I don't have to fill out anything on here, but I'm going to do the price very nice and large, you know, in like a thick black or brown Sharpie, something very noticeable. You know, if there's a size on the item, I can put it there. But up here at the top, it does say number. So that is where my SKU number comes in handy. And I got these little plastic thingamabobbers here as well. And so I should be able to loop them through here. It's the first time I'm doing it, is why I'm recording this. So watch me like screw it up and have it not work. But yeah, there we go. It just popped right on there. So I will like stick it through part of the crochet. It'll be on there, have the tag, have everything on there nice and professional. Now I'm going to have to cut this off to be able to reuse this, but that's okay. Like I said, I'll have the other tags on there too. And then when my daughter or my niece go to ring something out, then they can just punch in the number into Square. So I don't need like barcodes and that type of stuff. I can't remember if that is something that is available on there or not. But we're keeping it simple. We're keeping it simple. So I'm going to have it written on there. And, you know, this could take me probably several hours to do, but that is part of running a business, is tracking inventory. So the great thing though is that in Square, it will track everything that is sold. So I will be able to look at that report when it's done. I'll see, you know, if I sold out of something. I'll see if, you know, something wasn't purchased at all. And I think that is so great because it just solved the issue of both tracking the items and being able to ring them out. And also, I guess that's it. Tracking the items from like start to finish and ringing them out. I am super excited about this. I know there are always downfalls with any type of software that you use, any type of financial processing. There's definitely downsides too, and I know that. But this, for me anyway, in my situation, has some of the lowest costs that I found available, and the ease of use, and it totally keeps me from having to get another software or like learn how to do more in Google Sheets, which is like Excel. I think that is great. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm doing with the SKU numbers. And I am using Google Sheets for that, just so that I can have, you know, obviously like a master copy of it all. And then I can also make a cheat sheet if I need to have on hand at the market in case a tag were to come off or something like that. You know, we would be able to look that up. And I just used the AI that was in Google, in Gmail, the Gemini, and kind of asked it. I said, these are the categories I want to have. I want, you know, subcategories from there. How do I do this? Because it was stressing me out a little bit. It just seemed overwhelming, but it turns out it is not overwhelming at all. And in that Noelle Creates video, she had like a crazy simple way of tracking her inventory. And mine is definitely more complex than hers, and she's more experienced than me, so you might want to follow her advice instead of mine. But I've got a couple different master categories, and it kind of trickles, you know, down from there. So my main categories are created, anything I create, branded, so anything that has like my branding on it that, you know, I think it's possible that there are like relatives of mine or friends of mine that aren't going to want to wear my crochet, but they might buy a keychain that I put my logo on, or that I put on a mug. Those are things that I'm going to consider branding. I just think there is a possibility. I could be so far off base on this, I don't even know. But I kind of wanted to have it as an option. And worst case scenario, if nobody buys any of my branded merchandise, I can most definitely like wear it and use it myself. And also my niece and my daughter can have some of it too. So that's where I'm going with that. Next, the other two categories are vintage and then resale. Let's get into that. My booth, and please forgive me, but I don't want to give away on the World Wide Webs like the name of my local business, because I live in a very small rural area and I have links to the event that I'm going to be at and things like that. And I just don't want everyone on the internet to have access to like my location and stuff like that. It just doesn't feel safe. So I do, you know, ask for your pardon on that one. But my brand is very boho, hippie, cowgirl type of vibe. So there's ways that even though my booth is primarily crochet and stuff I'm crocheting, I am going to also have some different vintage items, like just things that I find super cool, and it might kind of vary from season to season or by collection, stuff like that. Like I'm definitely thinking about, I have collected so many like brass candlesticks, for example. I could totally, like in the fall, I think that would be a super cool little collection that I could put together. For this one, since it's kind of like my debut, I have a few like cool vintage items that would be good for, oh yeah, so like right here, this amazing bag. I haven't decided if I'm going to sell this or not. I did purchase this, I thrifted this, and yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to part with it. I've never actually used it. It's just been hanging up in here for like 4 years. But I love it so much. So much. I also had found at a thrift store so many years ago, this thrift store was going out of business, and there was a pair of like tooled leather high heel pumps, and they were amazing. Unfortunately, they were like 3 sizes too small for me, but this place was going out of business. Everything was marked like half price of the price, and so I snagged them because I was in love with them. I've never been able to wear them, but I thought that would be another cool vintage item to put with this, because I am selling so many apparel type items, and this totally goes with the vibe. And then the last category is resale items. So this is something where I put a lot of importance on the stuff in here being handmade, but also like I feel like it can be hand curated. So there are suppliers out there for literally everything. Like when you go into a boutique, they sourced it from somewhere. And following that Noelle Creates, I did notice, you know, she's talked about finding her sources a lot. So this isn't one of the things. I haven't 100% decided at what point I'm going to bring in resale items. But like, for example, say I was going to purchase these like faux leather headbands in bulk, because I think they are so great. I love it, and I think it totally fits with my brand. I could totally do that. I could buy them in bulk. I could package them as a set. There's just a lot of different things that I could do and still make it like one of my brand products. To recap, created, branding, vintage, and resale are my 4 main categories, and then it's going to branch off from there. And I will make up, when I get done with this, I will I'll let you have my Google sheet, and I'll let you see how I did it. And if it's something you're interested in, you can totally like change the categories out and stuff to make it what would work for your brand. So I will have that template available, not yet because it is not done yet. And again, I want to make sure it actually works in the market before I give it to you. But then I've got different subcategories under that. So like, say one of the things is created. So one of the things I am going to be selling is jewelry at my market that fits with my brand. And I've been doing some beading, and I have also been just going to town making like crocheted type earrings and stuff for like pendants and stuff like that. That's not, we can't really see that. What about this? That one's pretty cool. It goes with my shirt. It's a clip, so it works with my ear. So those jewelry items are going to be a subcategory under the created. So that SKU number would start with a C, and then it would be a J for jewelry. And then, you know, you can subcategory that down. If I wanted to do bracelet, if I, you know, whatever, it can subcategory down from that. But I'm also picked up some like fun vintage like faux turquoise costume jewelry from the 60s, 70s. I've been kind of on the hunt for that for myself, but just because I think it would go great with my brand as well. So that's something where like, I don't have it handy, but like I had a turquoise necklace, but it would be vintage, so V, and then a J for your jewelry, and then, you know, probably like an N for necklace. Kind of working in that aspect and going down, and I think this is going to be helpful. I think it's going to be easier. I guess my other subcategories that I'm thinking, you know, are I've got like apparel, jewelry, decor. I've got a bunch. Like I said, I will get that all to you as soon as I can. I'm excited about sharing that. And I think the very next video I'm going to do is about branding, because that does get me pretty excited. But if you have questions, let me know. Either write them down here or email me. You can always email me at shannon@shannontalksyarn.com, and we can talk more about it there. So thank you so much for talking yarn with me. I'll talk to you next Wednesday at 7. Bye!